Blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Do we ever stop and think how blessed we are? The greatest scientists of our day have been working on trying to copy, or at least make equal, the technology of cameras and microphones. Basically, a mechanical way of seeing and of hearing to mimic what happens with us. And still to this day, even with all the technology, there's no camera that can truly express the experience of a human eye. What we see, the depth, the beauty, different colors, but also the way in which it is brought into our very minds. The miracle of seeing and hearing, in other words, the miracle of experiencing the world, And Jesus uses this as a way of teaching when he says, blessed are your eyes, for they see, blessed are your ears, for they hear. And we can look at it from the very natural perspective and say, do I even notice the blessing of the simple gift of sight and hearing? What a blessing to be able to take in all this beauty. But then we also look at this gift from the spiritual perspective, as Jesus, I'm sure, is also doing here, when he says, many prophets, many people came before you, wanted to see what you see and didn't see it. He was clearly speaking of the coming of the Son of Man, the promise of God being fulfilled in the midst of his listeners and those who saw it. And that too needs to be, I think, appreciated by us. That there are many things that have happened in our church, in our reality, in our world today, that people could only dream of 20, 30, 50, 100 years ago. It's so easy for us to only see what's not working. I like to listen to old programs on the radio. I don't know if you like to do it, but I listen to one of the teachers I listen to is Dr. Vernon McGee, the old Bible teacher from Texas. He taught in the 50s. And it's very interesting listening to him because it opens up to me the reality of the world in the 50s, because I'm listening to someone as if I'm in the 50s. His observation, his seeing and hearing of the reality of his day. And do you know what he complains about? The same things we complain about today. This new generation has no faith. The world is going in the wrong direction. The church is diminishing and going in the wrong direction. It's really eye-opening. But if we choose to see with our eyes the good that is happening, the blessings, and to hear with our hearing the blessings, they are there as well. When I go to high schools, there are many things we could say are worse today, but there are also many things that are better. I see it. When I was in high school, there was a lot of bullying going on, making fun of. I remember I came from Poland and I spoke in a funny way to the people, and they made fun of me for that. There's much more acceptance amongst the young people in the high schools today. There's much more sensitivity to the newcomers, to those who look differently or think differently or sound differently. That's a good thing. That's a blessing. I think it's important for us to use our sight and our hearing, our ability to take in information, not just by noticing what's not working, but by noticing what is working, the blessings of our day. And there are plenty. And for those blessings, we must give thanks to God. Blessed are your eyes, blessed are your ears. Let's give thanks to God for the gifts that He has given us on this feast of Saints Joachim and Saint Anne. For in their day, I'm sure were also many things that were not working and did not appeal to the sight and to the hearing. But somehow, they experienced a miracle of God. They heard God's voice, they saw God's presence, and they were blessed by it. May we also be blessed with the gifts that surround us by noticing, accepting, and giving thanks for what God offers to us. Amen.